Now, of course, the first thing with an effective ad is that it gets click-throughs. It gets people who see it, who say, "Oh, that's interesting," and then click on it. So what's the average click-through rate that a small business would get?
Well, Google quotes an average click-through rate which you should be getting is at least 2%. So when we talk about click-through rate, what we're really talking about is the ratio or the percentage between the number of impressions, the number of times the ad is shown, and the number of clicks. Now, 2% in the real world as a response rate is actually very good. And it horrifies non-marketeers to hear that. Everyone thinks response rates are much higher. In fact, they're quite low. That's why these corporations have to spend so much money to increase sales.
And you've got an example here of one that you did, which had a much higher click-through rate. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the lesson here, the hack here is relevance. So I worked for Postal Exam Web, which provided information product to help people in the States pass the post office exam. Because in the States, you can be a post person and you can earn a decent salary, but you have to be qualified and certified. And it's actually quite a competitive marketplace because it's obviously a product that's actually very popular because people want a job and it's a very well paid job that comes with benefits in the United States. Although we've had some changes to the healthcare system, there's lots of benefits you get from working, but you don't get if you're not working or working part-time. So it not only gives you good salary, but it means that your family has good healthcare and other benefits, such as paid leave, sickness leave. And therefore, there's a lot of people looking for this. But the key thing is with this campaign, what we did was we broke it down into very small pieces. So every keyword had its own ad, and we made the ads highly, highly relevant.
And what sort of click-through rate were you getting with that? Because before we just go into the nitty-gritty of it.
Sure. So the click-through rate was 15%.
15. That's seven times what you
Yes.
said the average was, and you said that many small businesses aren't even reaching the average. So to be able to increase the click-through rate by up to seven times, that's very valuable stuff.
It's incredibly valuable, and it's very easy to do. It's a little bit of work, as all these things are. There's no magic button, unfortunately, but it's a very simple principle that if your keyword is relevant to your ad at the magic moment, that is, that people are putting in that keyword and their intent matches the words in the ad and the landing page, you get a big boost in terms of click-through rate because you're beating everybody else on the page.
Explain this little ad to us, the post office application. I see that in the headline. Is that some of the things that you're talking about?
Yeah, so relevance means firstly, I've got the actual keywords in the headline, which the headline is blue. So the headline shines out. That's what a lot of people notice. Now, this is done at a very subconscious level for if I'm a user, I'm putting in post office application. What I'm doing is I'm sharking for information. I'm using almost a prehistoric brain, just like we went out to hunt for food. I'm hunting for a specific thing. So I don't necessarily read what's going on, but what I'm doing is I'm scanning very quickly. Now, this page has ads at the top. It also has the normal organic results. The great thing about AdWords is we can tailor the ad copy to the keyword. Much more difficult with SEO. So you've noticed for SEO, the headline is about careers, not about application. It's only the second result is about application of the SEO results. So I've immediately got an advantage because one, I'm at the top of the page because I'm paying. And two, I've got the actual keywords which have been typed in. And so when I'm quickly looking at the page, scanning through, the eye is caught. And then we've got some extra messaging to reinforce that. There's some positions open, it's hiring, there's salary, there's benefits. But there's also a call to action, which a lot of small business people and medium-sized businesses and even big businesses forget. But you need a next step. It's like apply now. There's an actual action. So you feel if you're going to click that ad, there's a next step to it. It's a call to action.
Right. Okay. And we're going to get into that in more detail. So this is what you would call a quality ad, I suppose. Can you tell me a little bit more about quality and how that affects the AdWords algorithm?
Yeah, so AdWords is all based on quality score, and people actually get too obsessed with quality score. The quality score is meant to be a measure of the quality of the experience. And this is why Google is biased towards the end user, because it wants to deliver ads which are relevant. And the reason why they've been so successful is they promote ads which are more successful. And if you have a higher click-through rate, which is a high component of quality score, you will actually, you might pay a little bit less than your competitors, but get shown more. People do get too obsessed by quality score because they think about quality score rather than about what you're actually trying to achieve with it, which is actually delivering the right ad at the right time. So quality score is made up of many factors, but the largest factor by far is click-through rate. It's over 75% is around click-through rate. And then another good chunk, around 10%, is around semantic relevance. So click-through rate is just a measure. But semantic relevance, all that means is the keywords you have that you're targeting are matched in both the ad and the landing page. The final component, which is about 10% of quality score, is around landing page, and it's very binary. Is your landing page fast or slow? And does your landing page, again, is it relevant? Does it have the right keywords, not necessarily on the page, but in the meta tags? So these are tags which you would use normally for SEO purposes, the title tag and the description tag. It's looking at the title tag. It also has a look at the description tag. It's just doing a check, but it's very binary. Is this good or bad? By far, the biggest component is click-through rate.
Right. Okay. And there's that relationship between the keyword that you have in the ad and then the keyword appearing in the landing page to which that ad points.
Yes, because Google want the landing page to be as relevant as possible. Because they had actually, early on, they had problems because they had people doing great ads, but they were going to pages which weren't fantastic. And a lot of people complained to Google. So Google are very sensitive to that because they know that people stop using Google because they think it's rubbish. Then they're kind of finished as an organization. So it's in their interest to keep quality, but we can use this by making sure that we got the keyword in the ad and the ad is relevant, highly relevant to the intent of the user. And that's a very key word, is intent. We need to understand the intent. I mean, in this case, people want to apply for the post office application. They want help. And so we have an ad which talks about that. We land on a landing page which helps people. It gives them a free guide and some help to help them on their journey. And rather than trying to hit them over the head and sell them something, that at that point there's no intention there.
Right. Okay, I'm with you. Now, can you just give us, we'll finish for this point on, well, what's an ad of poor relevance? Can you give us an example of that?
Yeah, if we pull it up on the screen, I mean, I've gone for an extreme example because I was just doing when I was doing research for this campaign, I did find that the word postal. So this is actually a typical example of what I see sometimes in accounts which we're reviewing, is people have put in a one-word keyword. They think that Google will magically make this work, and here's an example of postal, and Expedia are bidding on postal. Now, they're not a postal service, but there is a place called Postal, and I may be wanting to visit that. or maybe not. It doesn't know the intent. It's very hard with one-word keywords to know what the actual intent is. Underneath it, you see a wiki entry for Postal, the video game. And then underneath that, Google's trying to be helpful and give you post offices. The thing here is that because it's a keyword with low intent, Expedia probably will get a very low click-through rate. But guess what? They do not care. They have enough money. They just throw things out at it. So one danger that small businesses can fall into is they just follow what the big boys are going and doing and go, hey, it's not working. Well, the big boys have got the money.
So again, the key to that is not throwing money at it, but being clever with the money that you do spend.
Yes.
So let's just have a look at the relationship between the ad and then the landing page there, because I think it's worth just emphasizing that again.
The mirror aspect is take your specific keyword, post office application, going to an ad, post office application, going to a landing page, all about post office application, and it's all about mirror. Everything's mirrored. It's targeted to the search query. So when someone types in, we've got that keyword, it then matches the ad and then matches the landing page.
Excellent. And if you've enjoyed this video, you can get free instant access to all 7 videos in the series. Just click the big orange button